video is perfect for you if you have just discovered that you're a people pleaser, or that you find you're getting agitated and upset that no one's taking care of you the same way that you're taking care of everyone else. So this video is perfect for you if you're just starting to experience the reality that, holy crap, I'm a people pleaser. Hello, friends. I'm very, very happy to be here this week talking to you about self-love for people pleasers. I'm going to be talking about it all this month because I think February is an excellent time to refocus on how you're caring for yourself. And we as people pleasers, well, recovering in the process, I would say, we as people pleasers, because I've been there, I still do it because it happens so fast from time to time. Our self-care tends to not be so great because we're so focused on everyone else. There's just a lot of verbiage out there that says, just put up boundaries and stop doing it. And I will tell you that if you've been doing something that you've been doing your entire life, that it takes maybe a little bit of introspection first to discover how much this thing actually impacts your life. My name is Misty Petrella. I'm a licensed therapist in Washington and Oregon. I've been a coach for over 10 years. Also, I'm a former people pleaser. You know, there's different phases of therapy, I will say, and realizing how much something that you do impacts you negatively is one of the most difficult parts of therapy because you start to see it everywhere and you don't necessarily have a change for it yet. You don't know how to fix it, but you're very aware that it's happening. So if you're in this part of the process of therapy, or just in your own self-awareness and awakening, I just want to say that my heart is totally with you. If this is the phase of awareness that you're in, I'm just self-care, self-love, and a ton of self-compassion is very, very important. The real problem with people pleasing is we can become so enmeshed in it that it shapes the careers we choose. It shapes the people that we choose. The problem is when that way of being becomes so focused on another person or another thing, like a career or whatever, that you aren't even in it anymore. You aren't in the relationship because you're not sharing what's happening for you in any way. You're not in the career because it's completely about someone else and their needs, or a group of people and their needs. And you're not involved in, you're doing the work, but your needs aren't in it in any way. These things are not sustainable and create a great deal of suffering for people pleasers. That's why it's a problem. If it was just all nicety boo-boo and empathy and funsy boos, then I wouldn't even be making this video. If it was just about you saying no more, I wouldn't even be making this video. The problem is, because it tends to get ingrained so early on, it can get to such a level that you aren't existing in your reality. What happens then is that many times we have to flee the thing. I have to flee this career. I have to find something that is more fulfilling, that doesn't make me die inside when I have to go do it. Many times this can show up in relationship because if you're not voicing your opinions, your desires, your frustrations in a relationship, boobaloo, you are not in that relationship. I mean, you're in it physically, but you're not in it emotionally. You're not in it spiritually, if that's your vibe also. We end up not being there. Completely making something about someone else or another group of people is so not sustainable that it creates so much anxiety that you have to leave it. The relationship, the job, the whatever. That's why people pleasing is a problem. And then we end up blaming the other person. Like it's their fault. And we participated in it the entire time. And this is client after client after client going through the exact same thing. If you're finding that this is happening in your life, this is people pleasing. If you're in one relationship after another where you feel like someone is sucking you dry, that is people pleasing. That's how it shows up. That is it taken to its nth degree. Here's how you know. If you are afraid to share in any way at work, if you're afraid to be yourself in your relationship, if you're afraid to be yourself with your kids, if you're afraid to be yourself with your family members, it's happening. You're doing it. So this first video is, am I doing that? Is that me? If you're afraid to share your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your anger, any parts of yourself with main areas of your life, work, career, family, hobbies even, that's people pleasing because you're making everyone else's emotions more important than yours, which means you're also emotionally caretaking for everyone. Because what happens if they get upset? What happens if someone doesn't like what you have to say? What happens inside if you're afraid to share, but you need to? Typically, it's a lot of anxiety and fear. We push our feelings down and we start taking care of someone else. Usually because that feels way safer. Again, we're going to talk about that next week. The first thing is, am I doing this thing that causes me so much pain and frustration in my life? People pleasing, everyone's like, oh, I'm such a people pleaser. Yeah, like it's a fun little thing I picked up when I was a kid. Like, I'm really good at telling jokes. It's kind of almost like that. And I will tell you, in reality, it's actually very painful. And you will know it. This is the first video about people pleasing and self-love, is to really realize, how much am I doing this thing? How much does it show up in my life? And how much pain does it actually cause me? The pain that people pleasing causes you is more than a 3 out of 10, then you are in the right place right now. And we're going to keep talking about this all throughout the month. I'm going to drop a video each week talking about this and really slowing the idea down. Everyone's like, people pleasing, say no, boundaries. Well, oh shit. If you told me to put a boundary down without all of this stuff we're going to talk about for this next month, I'd be like, are you out of your effing mind right now? There's no way that's going to happen. Say no. Like, actually, just if your whole life is not saying no, and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to go try it. I'm going to tell you right now, you will start to sweat from your hair follicles when you're about to say no if you haven't done it before. Change doesn't have to be like that. And I will tell you, change that is like, I mean, cold turkey is great and I love it. And if that works for you, amen, blessed, amen. But if you need change to be a little bit slowed down because the thing you're talking about is scary, then you're in the perfect place, my friend, because we're going to slow this whole idea down this month, break it down, and really help you stop doing it on like a root level, okay? So we're going to look at it a little bit spiritually, a little bit therapeutically, we'll smush it together a little bit. This is absolutely shiftable because I'm watching people shift it in front of my eyes. Okay. And I thought for myself for a long time that wasn't possible. It really, really is possible. Even if you've been doing it your whole life. We'll talk more about how this happens next week. It's not really a fault or blame situation. I don't believe in that. But there are things that like occur in our early life that help this to happen. And we're going to talk about that next week. But first, how much does this affect you? Is it easy for you to share your wants and needs with someone else? How hard is it for you to share what's happening for you with someone else if you think they won't like it? That's how you realize how much you're doing it. Do you have to flee things in your life to get back to yourself? That is a very common trait of people pleasing. Does everything become about someone else when you're in a relationship with them? Does all of that happen before you ever realize it's happening? And then you look up and go, oh my God, I'm doing it again. If you are having these realizations, then you are, like I said, you're in the right place. We're going to keep talking about this all month. This is possible for you to undo. It might feel like it isn't, but it is. So we're going to slow it down and help you work through it. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for taking any time for your own self-realization this month or ever. I'll see you on the flip side. Take care, guys.